where the news comes first. You're watching News Channel 2, live at 5 News Hour.
Tonight at 5, we're monitoring Main Street and the Sequoia Creek in Whitesboro.
We're also tracking the remnants of Debbie. Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis will tell us when we're in the clear. And part of Genesee Street in Utica closed following a crash involving 4 cars.
Now, the news with Jason Palace.
Good evening, everyone. Governor Hochul has declared a statewide state of emergency as remnants of Hurricane Debbie caused severe flooding across the state. And on top of the flooding, we're also under a tornado watch in Herkimer County. Over 8,000 people are without power in Oneida County. That's NYSEG numbers and National Grid numbers combined, and over 4,000 in Herkimer County. Trees and wires are down around the viewing area. Best bet, just stay off the roads. Let crews get things cleaned up. We've seen trees come down on cars because of some of the winds that are out there. Let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Cardis. He's tracking it all on this alert day. Bill, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Jason. We've been dealing with heavy rain. We've been dealing with wind. We have that tornado watch, which has been dropped for most of the area. It's still in effect for Herkimer County, but the tornado danger looks to be off the table. What we are tracking here, and for the rest of the evening, the winds. This is creating a big problem. We've been getting a lot of downed trees. We had a lot of wind damage earlier this summer, and you combine that with heavy rainfall, 40 to 50 mile an hour winds that took place over the past couple of hours. It's creating a lot of debris on the roads and some scattered power outages. So again, just be careful if you're heading out. The winds will be subsiding. I think this is about as strong as it gets. So we will get a break from the winds as we head into this evening as well as tonight. Rainfall totals, again, a soaking rain, but not a significant major rainfall. We had a couple of minor issues, some streams getting pretty high. But again, aside from a few minor issues, most of this came through without a big problem. The Sequoia Creek getting pretty high. Some minor flooding here, but again, the river levels are going down. The one spot we are watching is the West Canada Creek. That's expected to go over its flood banks at Cast Bridge as we head into tonight. But again, most of us are in better shape. Flash flood warnings in our area have expired. The rain is continuing to move to the east, and again, things are going to be getting better as we go forward. This evening, the rain showers come to an end. The winds will be subsiding. Tonight, things quiet down. Tomorrow looks like a beautiful day, and going forward, we've got some nice weather ahead. Just a few light showers, nothing that would instigate flooding. Temperatures in the 70s throughout the course of the week. Jason, back over to you.
Bill, thanks. Let's take a look at the Sequoia Creek in Chadwicks. This is out in front of Mohawk Limited on Bleachery Place. Heavy rainfall all day. Look, it's right up against the bridge there. We've seen this before, and we know where all that water goes. Down the Sequoia Creek into Whitesboro. News Channel 2's Ben Kinney live tonight from Main Street, where residents and officials are closely monitoring the Sequoia Creek there. Ben, good evening.
Yeah, Jason, good evening. As you said, residents and officials both monitoring this throughout the day. I just checked the USGS stream gauge, which is just a few miles upstream towards Commercial Drive. It was at 5.9 feet. For reference, 15 minutes earlier, it was just over 6 feet. So it may have crested, but it did go up and down a little bit earlier. I'm going to step out of the frame so you could see just how high this is running. Right now, we do know that the most flood-prone areas in the village are closed off. This includes Sequoia Street, Ellis Ave, Ablett Ave, and Elmore Drive. We heard from one resident came up to us and said his backyard on Sequoia Street is underwater right now, and it's starting to come into the basement. Their pumps aren't working. There's some pumps aren't working at this point because there's no power. A large portion of the village here in Whitesboro without power, including Sequoia Street. So if folks had pumps installed, well, it's not going to do any good because there's no power in a lot of those homes. Now, there were preparations taken by the officials here in Whitesboro. We spoke to Mayor Glenn Hopsicker a little bit earlier. Here's what he had to say.
Since we've got word that the storm was going to be tracking through our area, we started preparations, making sure all storm drains were ready to handle the water, all the manhole covers were clear. We made sure that people could see the meter here at the bridge, making sure things were cleared out, making sure the culverts were emptied and could handle the water flow and that there wasn't any obstructions.
Again, the most flood-prone areas, those roads have been closed off around Sequoia Street. I'm going to step out one more time just so you can see we're probably within about 2 feet of water getting to the bridge on Main Street. I'm not sure if it will or not. Of course, you got to bear in mind they had high water up in Chadwick's. Not sure if that's made its way down here yet or not, but I've definitely seen a lot of debris being carried. At one point when I first got here, an entire tree that had appeared to have come down in the wind was being carried down the creek towards the railroad bridge, and I know that's been an issue in floods in the past with debris getting caught up there and causing more issues. We're going to keep an eye on it as things develop. For now, in Whitesboro, Ben Kinney, News Channel 2. Jason?
All right, Ben, thank you. We're also checked in with folks in Utica. Department of Public Works has been preparing for potential flooding since Monday. DPW Commissioner Dave Short says workers have been busy clearing drainage culverts and catch basins of several areas of the city that are more prone to flooding.
We know that we have quite a few areas in the city. The city's on a hill, so we have a lot of areas for potential flooding. Parkway is one. Halleck's Ravine is another one. That's in South Utica. Lincoln Hole, that's Lincoln Ave and Plant Street, Tracy. That usually has an issue with flooding at times. North Utica has some issues, certain locations. So we're keeping an eye on all of them at this point.
Now, Dave Short says anyone who starts to see potential flooding issues should call the DPW 315-738-1341. A Vernon Center man is facing charges including criminal impersonation and burglary after a domestic incident in the town of Trenton. The United County Sheriff's Office tells us they were called to a home on Hulzer Road in Trenton just after 11 last night. They tell us Aaron Schaefer impersonated a police officer and allegedly forced his way into the home of an ex-girlfriend. Schaefer took off before officers arrived. He was later arrested and now facing several charges, mentioned criminal impersonation and burglary. Well, part of Genesee Street was closed this morning while crews cleaned up an accident. Take a look at this. A pickup truck crossed over 2 lanes, wrong side of the road, rammed into parked cars, causing a chain reaction. The impact drove that parked car into 2 others. Nobody was hurt. The airbag in the pickup truck was deployed, and there appears no other occupants in any of the vehicles. So far, no tickets have been issued. New Hartford police are asking for the public's help in investigating a harassment complaint from last month. The department says the incident happened back on July 11th in the parking lot of 62 Genesee Street. They say it involved 2 men who had a fight. They're asking anyone with information or recordings of that incident to call them at 315-724-7111. 21 forest rangers from the state DEC, including 2 from our area, are back home after a 2-week deployment fighting wildfires in Montana and Oregon. Crews joined more than 200 firefighters from across the country in battling the grouse fire that burned more than 3,000 acres in Montana. Forest Ranger Michael Buckholder of Norwich served as a facilities unit leader for operations at the Red Fire in Oregon, and Forest Ranger Eric Kaza of Cherry Valley was also assigned to a crew. The Village of Ilion is now certified as a pro-housing community program by New York State. The designation is designed to reward local governments that are working to address the housing crisis in the state. The designation means Ilion can now apply for programs like the Downtown Revitalization Initiative and New York Forward program. Team USA has extended its lead in the Olympic medal count as we wrap up day 15. 111 total medals for the red, white, and blue. 33 of them are gold. Coming up tonight in prime time, the U.S. track and field team has been on fire so far in these games, and they have additional chances to rack up medals tonight. Plus, the first medals will be awarded in the new Olympic sport of breaking. That's tonight on WKTV NBC. Here's what the team is working on for News Channel 2 at 6. The Thrilla at Unadilla may be a little muddy tomorrow, but the racers will be ready. We have a preview. Plus, we continue to follow the latest in the flooding around the area. We'll go back live to News Channel 2's Ben Kinney in Whitesboro. And Congressman Brandon Williams holds a roundtable discussion on autism and a bill he's co-sponsoring to help those living with it and their families. Join us tonight on News Channel 2 at 6. Thanks for streaming with us. News Channel 2 at 6 is on WKTV NBC.